guys, this one's gonna be a longer one. This is all my most anticipated reads for 2020. So 20 books for 2020. And I thought this list might be hard to do because some months I'm like pulling teeth, searching through books to find like a top 5 books that are released every month. But oh my gosh, all these just like flew off the page because they were all series I loved or authors I loved. I was excited. I mean, a lot of them are continuations of series, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, most of these just flew off the page. Some of them had beautiful cover art and they grabbed me. So if you've seen my Don't Judge a Book by its Cover, hopefully 2020 holds its truth. Hopefully these are good books with beautiful covers as well. So the very first one is A House of Earth and Blood. It is called Crescent City #1, so that means it's going to be a series, and it's by Sarah J Maas. This comes out March 3rd, 2020. I am so excited about this one. This sounds so fun. I love Sarah J Maas. I love Throne of Glass. It's like an assassin series, and I've loved all of her series, so I really, really like Sarah J Maas. Her fantasy worlds are so good. Court of Thorn and Roses, like, I was like, I don't know if this is my favorite Beauty and Beast retelling, but then the series got so good, and I was so excited for it, just like I'm excited for this kickoff of a brand new series, a fantasy series to fall in love with, hopefully. So this starts off with a girl, and her friend gets murdered and by a demon, so she kind of has to go to the underbelly of the city, meets a fallen angel, and he's discovering things under the underbelly of the city as well. So it sounds exciting, it sounds fun. There's angels and there's demons, and I don't know if she has kind of touched this in a way in other books and fantasy books, but it's so much fun. I mean, her last one was Fae, and the first one was like assassins plus a bunch of magic mysticism, but she has such a creative mind to come up with so many different worlds, and gorgeous. I'm so excited. The next one as well is The Ballad of Songs and Snakes. And this is Hunger Games #0 by Suzanne Collins. This one does not have a description yet. All we know is that it is a prequel to the Hunger Games, and I loved the Hunger Games. Absolutely loved it. I remember my mom called me back to back to back, and she was like, you've got to read this book, you've got to read this book. And it was the Hunger Games was out, and then I read it, and it took me a long time. I ignored her for like months, and then I went and read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, we had to go to breakfast in the morning. We went to breakfast, we talked about PETA all morning, and I had to wait for Catching Fire to come out, and yeah, so I waited whatever 6 months or a year it was, and I remember I went into the library and like scooped it up, and I was like, I'm taking this home. I was in college, I could not afford to buy a real book, but yeah, so good. Love the Hunger Games, and I'm excited for its prequel. Thank you, Suzanne Collins, for bringing us back to this world. I have no idea what one is. Untitled, and it's also by Sarah J Maas. Like I said, I enjoyed the Court of Thorns and Roses series. The 5th book, the fourth book, Frost in, I think it was like a spin-off going into another series, because she's now releasing another 4th book. And I was like, I didn't really need to read this book. Why did I read this book, Frost and Starlight? But it turns out she's coming out with a 4th book, so I'm excited about that. We know nothing about it. I just know it's going to be in the Fae world, and it's exciting. It's exciting. I've really liked all of it so far. My favorite was The Fury. The Fury is not called that, but I think it's Mist and Fury. It's #2. Absolutely loved it. So she could get back to like that place. I loved Mist and Fury. It was so good. As well as the next one is also entitled, and it is the Nikolai duology. King of Scars came out this year by Leigh Bardugo, and it was gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover. There was kind of a lot of storylines going on in it, and it is spun off of her original series, and then also spun off of Six of Crows. So let me show you. Bardugo is one of the most popular authors here on YouTube, and she wrote, so Rune and Rising, this was the original series. This is very, I don't think her writing was as good yet, but yeah, you kind of need these. You don't need them for these two. These two were phenomenal. Phenomenal fantasy. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom were so good, but you kind of need to read both of these in order to read King of Scars. And then this is going to be the second to King of Scars, basically. Just so exciting. And then the next one is also a very popular author here, and it is Chain of Gold, The Last of Hours by Cassandra Clare. This comes out March 3rd, 2020. So my favorite series by her, I read the original series and then I read her second series that was like set back in the day in the 1800s, and that was my favorite series by her. So this one is a spin-off of Tessa, of like, what was their names? Tessa and, of Will and Tessa's story in the Clockwork Angel series. So that was my favorite series I have read by her. I have not read her latest one, the Midnight one, but I really, really, really like those ones. And this one is a spin-off series from that. So it's about Tessa's children. What are their names? James and Lucy Herondale. I'm so excited for those. I really, really liked that series, and yeah, I can't wait to go on with it. And then maybe it'll progress me to read Lady Midnight and that series. Next one is Empire of the Vampire. This is Empire of the Vampire #1 by Jay Kristoff. Comes out September 3rd, 2020, so not for a really long time. This is a vampire story. I love vampire stories. I'm so excited about it. It's like a world has ended 27 years later story, and there's a guy who's like protecting the church and protecting these old vampires. I do believe Gabriel de Luna is in a holy order defending the realm and the church, now utterly destroyed, imprisoned from the murder of the vampire queen. Gabriel is charged with telling the story of his life. It sounds really, really good. It's a beautiful cover, so hopefully this one matches up. Next one is The Honey Don't List by Christina and Lauren. This comes out March 24th in 2020. I love Christina and Lauren's books this year. I read so many of them, had so much fun with them, and so I'm so excited for this one. This one is The Honey Don't List. So this is about a girl and a guy who fix up houses, and they're on this, like, on the track of superstardom. They've been really, really successful the past decade, but it turns out they hate each other. So they're pretty good at the hate to love trope. So hopefully this one goes just as well, and I'm excited for it. Next one is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abida Dare, and it comes out February 25th, 2020. So this tells a story of a young girl who is 14, and she really wants to stand up for herself and make something of herself, but then her father sells her to be the third wife of a really old man. Then she sells herself into servitude of a really wealthy family, and finally she gets to a point where she has to speak up for herself and speak up for all the women who are put in this position at such a young age. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that at 14. But it sounds like a really, really, really good book. It's gotten some good hype around it, so I'm excited about it. And yeah, that one I don't have to wait too long for. It's in February. The next one is Love Her or Lose Her. It's Hot and Hammered #2 by Tessa Bailey. Comes out January 14th, 2020. So if you read Hot and Hammered #1, you get introduced to this couple, and it's like one of the best friends of the original couple. So you don't need to read romance books pairings, but it is more fun. I feel like you enjoy them more when you know kind of their backstory more. So this girl and this guy have been in love forever. They're sweethearts, but in the first book, you can see that they're having trouble. They're not the main point of the story, but I like them. And the guy is a soldier, and he just hasn't come back home all the way, and is having a trouble adjusting, and you really are rooting for this couple that's going on in the background of the first story. And the first story is really cute. It's about a girl with like, she's like a clown and nobody takes her serious, and it's like a guy who used to be a player and nobody takes him serious, and his baseball career just ended. And so I'm excited for this because I really did like this couple as well. And this one I really don't have to wait for. It comes out January. So I liked Fix Her Up, and I'm excited for this one. This one is Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. It comes out January 14, 2020. So this is about a young girl. Emma Mills does a lot of stories that are YA contemporary stories about just like girls stuck in these situations and kind of what happens to them. Some of them are really, really good. I read Famous in Small Town this year, and meh, but I've read some other ones I really, really enjoyed. So I hope this one is one I really, really enjoy. But this one is about a girl who like goes into like radio broadcasting in college, and the team is really awkward and weird. It's just like they don't join up together. So I'm guessing it's like a join up together thing. And then there's also a boy, of course, that she doesn't really like, doesn't want to like talk to, that she's known her whole life. And he has come up at our college, and yeah, so a little bit of troubles there as well. The next one is The Chosen Ones. This is Chosen One, #1, so the beginning of another series by Veronica Divergent. And those were really, really good books for being debut novels. I can't believe she wrote those as debut novels. It always kind of shocks people when debut novels take off. It always shocks me, at least. So I'm excited for these. I'm expecting them to be probably even better. But these ones are about 5 teenagers who, the book sounded kind of cool because she put it in Chicago again. But it's about 5 teenagers who like had to save the world like 10 years ago, and now they're like still famous. So it sounds really cool. Kind of a cool, interesting, like what did they do to save the world kind of moment. And I'm excited for it. It sounds really good. This one is the Book of Longings by Suzanne Collins, and it comes out April 21st, 2020. So this book is about, well, if you've read The Secret Life of Bees, she did a phenomenal job with that book. But this book is about a young girl who meets Jesus when she's like 18, and I think Jesus is 20. And I think at that line, it just had me like, because as you know, we know nothing from the age of 12 till he's 32. So I was like, this sounds like a cool fictional piece. I don't know, it sounded really good. It's kind of a long description. I don't really want to read it out here because this already is a longer book. But just like that one line should like hook, line, and sinker you if you're into that. The next one is Recipe for a Perfect Wife. It's by Karma Brown, and it comes out January 1st, 2020. This is about a young woman who has, her whole life has kind of changed. She's like left her career. She's followed her husband, and she moves to the suburbs of New York, and now she's got to like fill her days, and she wants to be a writer. And she finds a book in her house that is like the recipe for the perfect housewife in the 1950s. So she stumbles upon this, and she finds out that a lot of it is quintessential to like what she's going through today. So it sounds like a really fun book. It has a gorgeous little cover, and it's so cute. So I hope it's a really fun book, and I'm excited about it. The next one is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, and it comes out January 21st, 2020. Is about a girl who's like captain of the swim team. I was on the swim team. Don't worry. I have so many dogs here, and if you heard them panting, I am sorry. They just got done playing, and I hope they don't knock over the camera. But this sounds like, your tail. This sounds like, I know, Pepper is visiting. She's a very sweet boxer. Yes, you are. You're just so sweet. Yes. My baby gets jealous too, my puppy. My older puppy, who's 6, she doesn't get jealous like you two. No, she doesn't. Okay, you guys are breathing in my face. This is disgusting. It's a YA romance, and it's about a girl who's captain of some team and a guy who's like trying to, he's a comedian, okay? He's a class clown. He's trying to come out of his brother's shadow, who's like real popular. It sounds fun. It sounds cute. It's got a cute cover. I'm sorry. The title grabbed me. Tweet Cute. It kind of reminded me of Meet Cute this year, and Meet Cute was a really good book. So, I mean, different author, but hey, Tweet Cute sounds really good too. One is Of Curse and Kisses, St. Rosettas Academy, #1 by Sahande Menya. I think I've read a book by this woman before. I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong. I'm saying it completely wrong. It comes out February 18th of 2020. Will the princess save the beast? I mean, what more do you need? That's the best description ever. It is about a young girl who hates the guy, and it kind of reminds me of the beginning of Romeo and Juliet, like Two Houses, you know, that's how the storyline played out in the synopsis. But it's just like, yeah, a young girl who hates a guy, they end up going to the same boarding school, and she comes up with this evil plan to make him fall in love with her, and then crush his heart. I'm not sure why she hates him so much, but yeah, we'll find out. Favor for a Favor, All In by Helen Hunting. This comes out January 28th, 2020. Book is from Helen Hunting, and I read 2 of her books this year, and I really enjoyed them and had fun with them. I've read some other books too that were like mediocre, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to be reading more of those authors, but that one, I did like Helen Hunting's Meet Cute. I thought it was good. And then I read another one, and so this one is a second in a series, so I'm going to read it and then read this one because it comes out in January, and I like to read them like back to back, and it sounds fun. This one is about an NHL player, and he has a hot mess of a girl live next door. And everything I read, I'm not sure if you guys know like real sports celebrities or something, but every time I read sports celebrity romances, the guys are very uptight and very strict. I don't know, maybe that is like a sports celebrity or pro sports players. Maybe they are really strict and stuff. Really uptight and don't like messy, klutzy people apparently. This one is funny. I like looked it up, and like there's older titles coming from it, but this one is The Conference of the Birds. It is Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children #5 by Ransom and Riggs. It comes out January 14th, 2020. So I'm not going to go a whole lot into this description because I haven't even read the 4th, but my husband and my kids love this series, so it is on my list. I read the first few and I liked them okay, but I feel like I need to keep reading them because everybody else says, and the movie was pretty good. And so if you're a Miss Peculiar fan, this one needs to go on your list. Number 5 is coming out very soon, the very beginning of the year. Number 18 is Woven in the Moonlight by Isabel Benes. I feel like I've read something by her too, but maybe not. January 7th comes out 2020. This is definitely a mystery. This is definitely a fantasy novel. So this girl is like a stand-in for her last royal line, and she hates this other royal line, and he's like, you want to marry me? And she's like, no. And then she goes off and wants to find these relics on her own, which sounds fun, sounds cool. I don't know how to like synopsis it more. If I read it out loud, you guys probably get the story a little better, but I believe it had a really pretty cover. It does come out on January 7th, so it probably already does have a cover. And it was on a lot of people's lists, and I thought it sounded good. And next year, it sounds like a really cool fantasy, and I hope I like it. I hope the cover matches it, and it's good. The next one is The Switch by Beth O'Leary. This comes out April 30th of 2020. So Beth O'Leary shocked me this year. She put out a debut novel that I didn't hear about from anybody, and then like one person on YouTube kept being like, it's really, really good. It's really, really good. So I went ahead and wrote it because I love romance, and it was called The Flat Share, and I really, really liked it. It got to the top of my romance list, which is saying something. It beat out like 100 other books, okay? It was funny, it was hilarious, so I'm just gonna read anything the author puts out now because it was her debut novel. That is ridiculous. So what happens is a young girl is tired of her life. She goes out and visited her grandmother. Her grandmother cannot find any kind of man to marry or be with at her age in this little tiny village. So they decide to make a switch, hence the switch. It sounds really cute. It sounds really adorable that she switches with her grandma. Her grandma goes to the big city, looks for a man, and she stays in Yorkshire and tries to find everything she needs, apparently, or what she's doing in life. It sounds so cute. I mean, who switches with their grandma? That's just adorable. This one is called The Separation Anxiety by Laura Zigman. It comes out March 3rd, 2020. This one was everywhere. When I looked, it was everywhere. It has such a cute cover. It is about a young woman who, like, her kids have like left the nest, like empty nester syndrome, and just, or maybe they're like older in like high school. I don't really know, but she has separation anxiety. So she ends up like holding this dog for some reason, and she realizes it's really calming. So she just wears a dog around all the time. I don't mind it, obviously. I have really loud dogs here all the time. It sounds really fun. This book is everywhere. It has a really cute cover. I get it when you're like constantly taking care of people 24/7, and all of a sudden they're gone. Like, what do you do? What do you do? And so yeah, this is her way of finding happiness. Those are all the books from 2020 that I'm excited about. And don't worry, I will be putting out my 2020 reading goals up next. So you'll know more about these books and what I'm going to do with them. And I'm excited about all of these. These books, seriously, I did not have to look hard. I didn't have to search. I didn't have to read every single review or anything like that. It's just, I was like, yes, yes, yes. A lot of these books are amazing, and authors I loved and series I loved, and I'm so excited for them. So if you're excited for any of them, tell me down below, or if you're in any of these series, or if you see a cool book or heard a cool book, tell me down below as well. And I will see you guys in the very next book. See you guys next time. Bye.